A chef spends countless hours perfecting a dish, only for it to be consumed instantly. There is a bittersweet reality for chefs in this type of environment. I'm here in New York, meeting Chef Kane, who is mentored and trained by one of the co-founding chefs of Noma. We discuss the weight-bearing challenges chefs face, what fuels his passion, and how am I gonna make him a knife better than his own? Chef Kane has very high standards, and that's why this will be challenging. Tell me a little bit about your history as being a chef, because you're young. Yeah. You're a young chef and you've got a lot more experience than I've met in a lot of people. Tell me about it.
I've been working since I was 15, started as a dishwasher, worked my way up. And so I got really lucky, ended up in a 2 Michelin star restaurant and somebody had to step up and so I did. And you know, it was a crazy experience. Like I was running a 2 Michelin star restaurant, was 22 at the time.
Jeez.
And did pop-ups all over the world. Started working with Mads about 4 years ago, moved to Mexico. And then, yeah, I'm back in New York and I'm the R&D chef here at Illis. Whenever I'm working next to people, sometimes they feel like it's not, you know, whatever. I'm a very intense individual to work next to, which is okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. But at the end of the day, whether they understand that or not, it's not my job. You know,
your job is to execute.
Yeah, I'm not
the coworker. Though.
Exactly. And
I do have a lot of relatives and friends who ask me about wanting to be a chef, culinary school, all this stuff. But what I want to know is, what would be the wisdom you give to people when they say, "Hey, I'd like to be a chef"?
I asked somebody whenever I was very young. I was like, "Should I go to culinary school?" They're like, "Why would you pay to learn if you can get paid to learn?" This is 100% the long game.
Yeah.
And you have to have that endurance. And you're gonna be working 60 to 80 hours a week for a very, very, very long time. And you have to ask yourself, do you want that? Because the reality is none of these restaurants that are of high caliber can exist without that labor model yet. The people who always impress me the most are the people that don't say no, are curious and ask questions, right?
Sure.
Like, you know, and you watch The Bear and you're like, I'm a chef now, like,
quite opposite for me. It gives me PTSD
yeah,
when I
don't
watch
like
The Bear.
I don't watch that show.
Working in a high caliber restaurant, intensive responsibilities.
Sure.
How is it like carrying that weight, not only inside, but outside of the restaurant?
You know, I had a lot of things happen while I was at this restaurant that like helped put it in perspective, giving yourself a little bit of time out of this place to recover, to focus on yourself, your mental health, your physical health.
Sure, yeah.
You know, your spiritual health, you know, all this shit. Like,
it contributes to the betterment of you.
Yeah, and it's super important.
Your go-to chef knife. You actually shared a story with me when you first used it.
Yeah, so my go-to chef knife is this giant Kiritsuke.
Yeah.
I got it whenever I was chef at Bunka, and I cut the tip of my finger off the first day I used it, and I didn't touch it for an entire year. Okay. Scared the shit out of me. It's big, it's heavy, it has a lot of ego, but it's perfectly me.
It's a hefty knife.
Yeah,
it looks
really
like it cuts through anything,
it
especially fingers. Looking forward to making you a knife, so hopefully the one that I offer you will meet your expectation, man. Slice, push-pull, chop, rock, and other styles. Chefs use various techniques based off of what they are cutting, but we prefer certain ones over others. For Chef Kane, it looks like he's a rocker. The edge is always on the board. His knife is a monster, so I'm gonna replicate the knife, but fix some opportunities and hope for the best. Making Chef Kane's knife is exciting for me because I want to make a blade that has a very aggressive profile. If you notice the knives he was using, they had that overall look. The steel I'm going to use is sourced from Baker Forge. They excel in Damascus steel with copper embedded in it. My goal as a knife maker is to focus on 3 things: the shape, the heat treatment, and the edge geometry through grinding very thin. I'm kind of looking at this and it's not looking much like a Kiritsuke. This one's a little bit wider in height, so it kind of looks like a Bunka. Now, not to throw all these terms in knives, Bunkas are a little bit taller and wider. It still has the curvature of a Kiritsuke, and it has the length, so I think we're gonna go with it. In we go. Look at that. That's pretty cool. We're now gonna temper the blade through cycles and then onto the grind. The buffing machine, aka the Widowmaker, has different types of wheels loaded with compounds to polish materials, making this a death trap by catching whatever is in your hands and flinging it right back to your chest. That's why I take some necessary precautions. Safety first, and although being dangerous, it polishes beautifully. Finally, the knife is almost complete, and now onto stonework. These modified stones help thin the bevels and of course polish. If you look carefully, if I put more pressure than what you see, the edge could potentially crack. So I have to trust in my heat treatment, but tread carefully. Finished. Oh. We have finished grinding, hand sanding, and buffing this blade. Wait, let me see if I can get out of the way and show you. It is ground very thin. I think we have ourselves a winner. We talked about an aggressive profile for the blade, so when it comes to the handle, all black everything will be the best color scheme. This. Ah. Come on. And one of the most annoying things are the fittings. Are we even? Are we set? Good. Now we're gonna epoxy it and then we're gonna shape it. So I've just tested the fitting and it looks good. This cheap pine wood is the same dimensions as this handle, so I'm gonna cut this up and test it because I really don't know how it's all gonna look. Much like a carpenter's perspective, measure twice, cut once. Ooh. For how simple this is, it actually feels really comfortable. Putting in the bolster as we speak. We're gonna let that set for 12 hours, and then we're gonna go on to shaping. I've got a pretty good feeling about this. We are gonna make a 3-layer saya. So what that means is we're gonna have one outside sheet, a cutout, and another outside sheet, and we'll fit it in. This is the same thickness as the steel, so it should be all flush. Oh shit, no. Okay, definitely not. That was a recipe for a fire. Okay, I'm gonna run this through the metal bandsaw and see if I can do that. No bueno, no bueno. We've almost completed the saya. We've drilled in a tapered hole with a tapered pin, so that's more like a friction fit. We're gonna glue up the knife and then see how this all looks together. The most important part in any aspect of knife making is the test cut. We're gonna go through basic vegetables that really indicate performance. Potato for food release. I'll explain that in a second. Root vegetables, carrots, these are good to tell us how much pressure it takes to push through a cut. I think this is like the most used vegetable in the world, and it's important to test on an onion. And maybe this garlic that suffers from elephantitis, otherwise known as elephant garlic. All right, let's test. Let's go for potato. What I love about this is it feels like nothing. I'm actually applying no pressure, so. Now to activate our French skills of brunoise. Oh! This did what it was supposed to do, it cut seamlessly. I'm gonna clean this up and then I'm gonna do the etch. Etching steel is always fun to see. The way I like to etch is where you darken the steel in acid until you faintly see the cladding. This is where you kind of open up the pores for the next step. You neutralize and then soak in coffee. We're about 4 hours in on the etch. Let's just take a quick glance. Woo! Look at that. Gonna let that sit for a little bit longer, but it's done. Oh. Now we're gonna put everything together and see how it turns out. Pin is in. My hands are a little oily, so you're gonna see some fingerprints, but this is it. Now I'm gonna take it out. I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean, the copper on this thing is amazing. I'm in love with this handle. I'm gonna do this with every single knife. I came in with the full intention of making a Kiritsuke, but what came out of it was a Bunka. I didn't really think about the height making such a difference in the profile, but I think he's gonna like it. I am looking forward to delivering this knife, but the question still remains, will he like this knife? And will it cut? This is the moment where Chef Kane is gonna see the knife for the first time.
I'm nervous.
I am nervous.
I'm nervous.
All right, let's make it happen. Open up.
Oh my God. Oh. Wow. Holy crap. This is gorgeous, dude.
So it turned out to be a Bunka knife.
I love it. It's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
I can't let this be here. I have to take it home. Such a unique piece. I don't have any knives like this, like at all. Like I wouldn't expected you to bring me a knife like I have at night, but like this is so crazy. This is crazy. This is nuts. It makes the food taste better. This is so dope, dude.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, dude. You're welcome. My pleasure.
It's such a nice gift. I'm so happy with this knife, dude. This is so sick.
While getting to know Chef Kane, I witnessed a blend of focus and resilience. His innovative dishes were a testament to his creativity, and yet his candid conversations about the pressures of being a chef revealed a deeper layer. Despite the weight of expectations, his enthusiasm is unwavering. I found his openness about his personal journey and professional challenges deeply admirable. Meeting Chef Kane was an experience in more ways than one.